Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to take a look at what is possibly the cheapest webcam, which is actually decent, in the UK right now. This is the Microsoft Lifecam 3000. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, today we're going to take a look at the Microsoft Lifecam 3000. Now this is a 720p webcam which is available currently in the UK from argos.co.uk for a measly £19.49. Now if there is stock in a store near you, you can just click and collect, which is nice and easy to do, and it won't cost you a penny more. But if you don't have any stock near you, you can option to pay for an additional £3.95 and have this little beauty sent to you the very next day, which is what we've actually gone ahead and done. And you're probably asking, Mike, why have you done that? Well, I've used the Logitech C920, I've also used the C270, both of which are okay picture-wise, but the microphone is absolutely shocking. So what interested me in this is the fact that this has a built-in noise-cancelling microphone, which is actually pretty useful. And you'll be seeing some demonstrations and some video footage of this as we go through the video, so do check those out. But essentially, this is a very, very cheap, cost-effective way of getting online using Skype, Zoom, Facebook Messenger, all those kinds of things. Anything you need to do. Lots of us are in lockdown at the moment, so we're working from home and having to collaborate with our office members, with colleagues, all that kind of stuff. So having a webcam is pretty much essential, which is why the prices have gone absolutely through the roof. This actually on Amazon at the moment is best part of £80, which is absolutely crazy. The Logitech C920, which is kind of like the 1080p, pretty much the one to go for. Again, similar sort of price, £80–90, which is a lot of money for a webcam, which actually isn't particularly good, but it's 1080p, so people tend to go for it. But anyway, I'm digressing. Specs of this, 720p, 1 megapixel sensor. It's USB 2, uses 1.1 volts, so even if you're using it on a lowly laptop or some kind of Chromebook or something, you shouldn't have any problems at all. Fully certified to work with Skype, so if you're using Skype Business, it's going to work straight away with no issues whatsoever. Works fine with Zoom, works fine with OBS, all those kinds of softwares. This is ultra compatible. Hey, it's made by Microsoft. If it's going to work with anything, it's going to work with Windows 10. Well, you'd hope so. So anyway, let's take it out of the box and see what we actually get. So actually, first of all, the packaging is pretty awesome. Look at that. They couldn't have done better. What a nice piece of packaging. It actually does look the part. And for £20, it does belie what you actually get. You would expect it to be considerably more expensive. So inside the box, we get the camera itself, which we'll take a look at in a second. We get an instruction guide, and this really couldn't be more simple. For Windows 10 devices, literally plug it in, attach it to your screen or your desk, and that's it. Forget it. So simple. You get a limited warranty guide. Now this actually does come with a 1-year warranty, so should anything happen to it within the 1 year, you can get it replaced easily enough. And you've got a product guide, which is multi-language. Again, we won't be needing that whatsoever. On the back of the box goes through some of the specifications, saying that it's compatible with Windows 7, Windows 8.1, Windows 10. Also, it uses USB 2, as we've discussed. So yeah, not very interesting there. Let's look at the camera itself. So the camera is actually pretty small and pretty lightweight as well. About 60 grams, so it isn't particularly heavy, although it is slightly a bit of a pain to get out of the box. Luckily, I'm going to do this in one take, so I don't have to put it back in. So this is the camera itself, and as you can see, it's pretty small, pretty compact, and if you put it on top of your monitor or a laptop screen, it isn't going to be that intrusive, and it's not going to be one of those things that you think Big Brother's looking over you. It's actually quite small and discreet. It looks quite nice as well. You've got this chrome bezel, which is I don't know whether it's trying to make it look like a more expensive camera, but there's no real need for it to be there. You don't have any glass on the front to cover the lens, so that's one of the sort of downsides of these slightly cheaper devices. Over on this side, we've got a blue LED, which lights up when the device is actually in use. So again, another visual representation. So if you are got that kind of home office setup and you're not sure if the camera's recording or if it's on, if you're having a private conversation, just a quick visual check and you can see that the blue light is on or off, and you know if you're safe to discuss things that you possibly wouldn't discuss in front of the whole wide world. Speaking of discussing things, on this side we've got the 2 microphone inputs. So one of them is a standard microphone, the other one is the noise cancelling microphone. So it kind of takes into account what is going on in the room and tries to equal out that within software to make you sound clearer. And actually in testing it's done pretty well. The one thing that this does excel at is doing things on a budget. So even under sort of limited lighting conditions. At the moment, as we're set up now in the studio, this is pretty much the perfect lighting situation, so this should perform absolutely brilliantly. But if you're at home and you don't have studio lighting, which why would you? You're at home, you have to use things like your incandescent bulbs, like your normal household bulbs, or maybe just you're working through the night and all you've got is maybe a little side light and the monitor light to light you up. So how well does it do in those sort of lighting conditions? Well, let's take a look at a few examples and see how it does. Okay, so this horrible mess is a low light recording. So at the moment in the Microsoft Unboxing studio, currently we've got all of the lights turned off. Basically all we've got is one of these in the background, and also we've got the RGB lighting, and we've got a little bit from the box behind us. But essentially most of the lights are off now. Pretty much all cameras suffer really, really badly with low frame rate and obviously very grainy picture in this kind of lighting situation. But potentially, depending on what you're trying to use it for, still usable. And also the audio, I've had a quick listen to the audio and it isn't actually that bad. Considering at the moment I am pretty much a entire arm's length away from the camera, whereas normally you'd probably be maybe a little bit closer at this kind of range, so you'll find your voice sounds a little bit better. Again, depends completely on your setup, how you're sat, and also lighting is super, super important, as most of us will know from previous experience with video cameras and camcorders through the years. So again, let me know, what do you think of this in a low light situation? Okay, so this is another video recording test. Now currently we have some incandescent light. Incandescent light is your normal household light bulbs, which we've got turned on over there. So this is pretty much going to be representative of most home office setups, especially for using it at night time. Obviously it would be much better with a whiter, brighter light. This is probably just like an 8 or 9 watt kind of IKEA bulb from here in the UK. Not particularly bright, and it's got a very kind of orangey glow to it. But as you can see, the frame rate has actually increased from our low light test just now. We're getting a few more frames per second, and also some decent colour reproduction. The stuff in the background doesn't look too bad at all. The contrast between the yellow, that side I'm watching this on there, between the yellow and the whites of the background, etc. All the colours come through pretty nicely. I've been out in the sun, so I'm a little bit orangey red anyway. So do take that into consideration. This is May 2020 and it's lockdown, so what else can you do apart from sunbathe and make YouTube videos? But anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. Again, let me know what do you think of this. The frame rates aren't great, as you can see moving around. We're getting I don't know, maybe 15, 20 frames per second if we're lucky. I'm not too sure how to measure it, but it's set as a maximum of 30, this device. So obviously it's not the greatest anyway. It's not going to give you that smooth, fluid 60 frames per second, no matter what the lighting's like. Obviously, the more lighting you get, the better fighting chance you've got of getting some smooth footage. Anyway, again, let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, so there you go, there's some pretty decent examples. And to be fair, I think the microphone actually sounds really good. There is a lot of background noise in this in the room we're in, and it's a relatively small room, so there's plenty of echo. And there's 2 or 3 PCs all on at the same time, kids, cats, windows are open, all that kind of stuff. So I actually do think it's done a fantastic job as far as the microphone is concerned. Visually, again, it's not the best, but it is 720p, and also pretty much all cameras do suffer quite badly in lower light conditions. Most of us, if you're using this for a work situation, chances are it's going to be during the day, and you'll have your windows, you'll have that natural daylight, which will certainly help things a great deal. So let's take a look at the actual camera itself. So USB cable is about 2 meters in length, and again, USB 2.0, so if you've got a slightly older device, not a problem. You don't have to worry about having USB 3 for the bandwidth, because it is a relatively low bandwidth device. To mount actually on a monitor, there's a hook on the top, so you can hook that on the top, and the rear just bends around, so you'd have that resting on the back of your monitor. Or if you want it on top of something, you can just twist this around. It's very flexible, so there's a few options you can do there to actually get it to stay where you want it to. And even if you want it on a desk or something, it is pretty lightweight, so you have to you might have to stick it down with a bit of blue tack, but generally it's not too bad. There is a little bit of swivel as well in the camera head, weirdly slightly more to one side than the other. Why that is, I do not know, but yeah, it does seem to be slightly more to the right hand side, or my right hand side. So there is a little bit of swivel, which is actually a good thing, because the Logitech C920 doesn't have that feature. So literally you have to if it's on a monitor and it's not in the right position, you have to either move or slide the camera along. So actually being able to give just a little bit of tilt on the camera could be pretty useful, especially if you're on a desk where you've got a monitor there, keyboard and mouse here, you've got your workstation, other stuff there. So having it on the side and being able to twist it probably be quite useful. So all in all, a pretty decent device. Super cheap, again, under £20, which for a webcam during the COVID crisis, less than £20 for a webcam, which is actually half decent and will pick up your voice and actually a reasonable resolution. I have seen other webcams of a similar price point, which are only 480p, which is kind of pre-2000s. Horrendous, don't touch them. If you get offered them, don't buy one. They do look absolutely horrendous and they sound awful. But this 720p, which is known as HD, the sound quality is pretty decent. So I don't think you can do much better at all in the market, especially in the current conditions. So if you want to check one out, go over to argos.co.uk, you can pick one up. We've already mentioned on our Discord server, so all those guys have been picking them up for work purposes and etc. Hopefully this will help some of you guys out there. If it does, do give the video a like. And if you've enjoyed the content, maybe click on the subscribe button and the chime icon, and you'll be notified of all future video releases. But that pretty much wraps things up. So this has been the Microsoft Lifecam 3000, pretty much bargain of the summer. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.